Hello, my name is Brandon, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on Tomas Saraceno. Tomas Saraceno is an Argentine contemporary artist who attended the University of Buenos Aires from 1992 to 1999, and he was born in 1973. Saraceno is now based in Berlin, where he continues to make installation-type art pieces. One example of his installation-type art piece is right here in the background. This installation is from Saraceno's Airport City or Cloud City project. And this was Saraceno's first major commission in the United States and is currently installed on the roof of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. My first look at this piece did remind me of the project's actual name, Cloud City or the Airport City. The shapes seem to be scattered about to create a free-moving shape of sorts, and this reminds me of clouds, which don't seem to maintain a singular shape. And looking back at the other part of the name, going to the city portion, it's the geometry. The geometry of the structure is just, you don't get to see those kind of shapes in nature very often. So it's very uncommon and it's more of a human-made type feel. And since it's scattered all about the entirety of the structures, that's what gives me the feel of the city. Saraceno himself stated that his vision behind the airport cities was to create a concept for an actual airborne city. And this would end up becoming, I guess, a hub of social engagement of sorts. Here's another example of another part of his cloud cities, and this one is based in Barcelona. Here we can also see more of those shapes that are scattered around. I think these are all pentagons. Yeah, they're just scattered about, and they resemble clouds of sorts since they are, I guess, taking up a majority of the sky, but we can still see through to actually see the sky. In the background of this slide, we can see that there is another installation. This is also a part of Saraceno's Cloud Cities project. This one is based in Berlin. This installation here seems to take on a different shape than the past two slides have shown. These take on a spherical shape, more of a bubble, I suppose. And inside of each of these bubbles, we can see that there is something inside. And from the way it looks, it's kind of like a plant, where it kind of has like a randomness to it, where it grows, I guess, wherever it can. In Saraceno's mind, his inspiration for this project was similar to the last two, where it would be an area for people to live up in the skies. But these are, I guess, what he called them, biospheres, where it would just contain life and, I guess, again, be areas for people to interact with one another, or to preserve life, keep ecosystems, etc. In the rightmost portion of the slide, we can see that there is another project going on here. And this was a project that Saraceno has joined in on. This was a project that was produced by the Museo Aerosolar and the Aeroscene Foundation. This was a project to spread awareness and to help rethink the co-creation of the atmosphere in terms of carbon content and greenhouse gases. This project itself was made up of many plastic bags that were, I guess, reused and were thrown out and could have gone into the ocean and other environments that could have been harmful for animals, produced a bunch of other bad natural gases that could have gone into the atmosphere. The thing that I like a lot about this piece is just the many different colors. It makes me think that everyone needs to work together to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and that's how we can help save the planet from global warming. Here's another one of Saraceno's projects. This is the solar bell. Once again, we get to see the fact that there are many of the same shape. In this case, it is triangles instead of pentagons and the sphere. Here we can also see the fact that there are people in the rightmost portion, which, once again, this is another one of Saraceno's ideals or visions of a future where we have floating buildings, or floating cities, in that matter. The cool thing about this is the fact that Saraceno thought about the fact that we would be using renewable energy within these buildings, whether it be solar or wind energy. Not only that, but the shape itself was modeled after Alexander Graham Bell's little structure that he created, and this would be the octet truss. Now we're moving into some of Saraceno's favorite interests. In this case, it would be these spiderweb-like structures, which are actually modeled off of spiderwebs, which is pretty interesting. The reason that Saraceno finds these spider-like structures so interesting is because of the fact that spiders use spiderwebs as, I guess, messaging system of sorts. And the way they use it is through vibration. And the vibrations, they can be felt throughout the entirety of the web. And spiders use those vibrations to figure out whether or not something has landed on the spiderweb, and they can head there to see if they get food. Or, in the case that spiders, how they eat other spiders can, I guess, imitate vibrations to cause another spider to think that there's food, to head over there, and then to eat them. Saraceno sees this with interest as it's interconnecting everything. In the case of most of his spider-like structures, we can see that throughout all of the slides that I've shown so far. There is some type of spider-like structure holding up each of the installations in some way, which I love how interconnected all of his works are and how they show that it's his work. In the case of works like 14 Billions, the interesting thing about each of these, I guess, strings or strands here is the fact that each one plays a different note. That is because each of them are connected to each separate portion, such as the middle portion right there to the sides. It's just connected all the way around. And with those connections, we can hear different notes, which I love the fact that this is a, I guess, audience-based, listening experience. Similarly, we can see in the Cosmic Webs that he has a very similar design. However, this one doesn't feel as cluttered, and it feels more like it has a structure. And as you can see throughout the entirety of this installation, we can see people plucking at each of these strings. They are listening to each of the sounds that each of the strings make. And finally, this is a long name, galaxy forming along filaments like droplets along the strands of a spider web. Once again, this is amazing for me because it's such a huge piece of work that is connected all the way around the room, due to the fact that Saraceno might be trying to express the fact that he wants to, I don't know, maybe make a more closely knit society in a way, one that's more interconnected. I guess in a way it's more of a friendly society. Throughout these installations, Saraceno actually intends to, I suppose, develop new ideas to create a more sustainable society. That is the end of my presentation. So thank you for watching. Oh wait, those were my works cited. Thank you for watching.